most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family. Never forgetting where we came from. Thank you, Sean. See, you are what you are in this world. One of two things. Either you're somebody, or you're nobody. Be right back.
So we back with part 2. I ain't gonna waste no more of y'all time. Y'all saw how I started this whole thing off. Let's get right back into where we left off and pick right back up from where we was.
But this notion that I never want to see Quandre Diggs play the nickel, or I never want to see Tavon Wilson. What are you talking? Back to Tavon Wilson. So I heard in there he says Tavon Wilson. Who could match their production and blah blah blah. I want to get something very clear.
Now the question that I asked people was, who can match the production of Quandre Diggs if Quandre Diggs is at the slot corner? Full time, mind you. He would be there literally full time.
Out of 64 starting safeties,
keep that number in y'all mind, people. 64 starting safeties
in the NFL. All right, 64. You got to make top 64 to qualify. There are 32 starting free safeties, 32 starting strong safeties. In order to qualify as a starting level caliber safety, you have to grade out in the top 64, okay? With that being said, out of 64 possible starting safeties in the NFL, and we know Tavon Wilson only started 3 games, Tavon Wilson finished 46th.
Now let me just stop y'all there, people, because one of the things I love about this particular stat, because he's trying to make it like it's a good thing, but let's just put this in percentages, right? 64 is where you got to qualify, right? 64 starting. Now, let's just be honest. Tavon Wilson started 3 games for the Lions last season. 3. The Jets game, and we know what happened there, okay? All right? We know what happened there. But let's just stay with this for a minute. He said that he, out of 64 starting safeties in the league, he finished 46. And his response to that is as if though that's something special. Like the way he said that was like this was a huge point for him. Okay? To finish 46 would mean that he finished in the bottom 28% of safeties. The bottom 28%. That means that he wasn't even included in the top 71.87%. But if that's not even enough for since we throwing numbers out there, if that wasn't even enough, because he's out of 64, is what he said, 46 of them. That means that, and he's going to clarify this, only 18 other safeties was better than him. That ain't good. I mean, listen, if you're going to tell me this particular stat, at least tell me he was in the top 15, 20, starting safeties. Tell me he's in the top 32. Give me that. 46? 46. That's like me telling somebody, yeah, I'm in the top 46 of 64 safeties. What? Come on. Let's be honest about this, man. Let's be honest about this. He's in the bottom 28%. The bottom 28% of safeties in this league. What are we talking about here? Are we really going to sit up here and act like he finished 46 out of 64? 46 out of 64 possible chances. He's good? Really? Would you want to move the goalpost and say where he was closer to 32 than he was to 64? He was 18 away from being 64. 18 away. How many was he going to be in the top 20? Come on, let's be honest about this. Now, this is you, Mobby. You telling me you don't like misinformation. You don't like that. But you're gonna pull this out as one of your proven stats for Tavon Wilson? The bottom 28% of leagues in safety? Okay, let's listen.
You have to make top 64 to qualify as a starter. Tavon Wilson finished 46. Okay? 46. Meaning, Tavon Wilson could have started over 18 other starting safeties in the NFL.
I love how he put that little spin on there. I think that's cute. He could have started over 18 safeties. You know what would have been nice for you to name me those other 18 that's behind him? You know, I would love to know the other 18 behind him. I'm pretty sure. Could he start over, say, a Chris Conte? Nope. Chris Conte is terrible for the Buccaneers. He's horrible. Could he start over a Jeff Heath for the Dallas Cowboys? Nope. No, he cannot. Who are these 18 people? I mean, you don't want to give misinformation. You just don't want to give complete information. That's what you're really saying. Because, again, bottom 28%. So he could have started on 18. Come on, man. Really? Because he finished 46? Come on, Mobby. And I know you know your football, and you know that don't make no sense. Come on. You mean to tell me that Tavon Wilson is good enough to take 18 other safeties? Then here's my question to you. Name me those 18. I mean, what safety spot is he taking in the division? Nobody. So we can already exclude 4 teams because one of the teams he's on, he's not even a starter. So that's 4 teams right there. So now that 18 is down, it's already going down. Let's talk about the other teams that he could be on. Who are the safeties that he can be on? I'm gonna let you finish talking because you know you spitting these facts.
And Luke G is sitting here saying, oh, he can't cover, he can't tackle.
Did anybody who watched his video heard me say he can't tackle? Never said that. In fact, I never talked about his coverage skills. All I said is I saw him getting burnt and beat a lot. I did. He wasn't always in the best position to make the play. And for me, that's what the safety is. He's the last line of defense. If you the last line of defense and you failed at your job, miss me with it. I bet you one thing, it ain't going to be too often you see some of the best safeties in bad position. You're just not going to see it. I mean, I don't care if they brought Quandre Diggs up from the safety spot to bring him up closer to the line to create a different formation look. I don't care. The truth is Tavon Wilson ain't no starting safety in this league. He's not. What kind of starting safety gets a pay cut? Like, seriously. Gets a pay cut on his last year. He couldn't even pull the I need a new contract threat on the Lions. He's so good that he couldn't even threaten the Lions with holding out to get a new contract. You know why? Because even Tavon Wilson know it would have been foolish. It would have been ridiculous to act as... I mean, could you imagine Tavon Wilson walking into the Detroit Lions brass office and saying to them, hey, I finished 46 out of 64 starting safeties. I finished 46. I need a new contract. Just take a second to think about that. He walks in and just looked Matt Patricia in the face. And I bet you that'd be the first time Matt Patricia takes that pencil out and use it, because he'd probably want to stab his hand or something for sounding so ridiculous. But we're going to let you finish talking, because in a minute you finna prove my point.
He can't even play special teams. That's all false. He's a special team standout.
Special team standout. That's what he said he is. He's a special team standout. If he's a special team standout, how many starting safeties are on the special teams that are standout? This the guy you want to start, according to you. Now, let's be honest about this question, because I'm going to ask it a few times. Do you want Tavon Wilson to be your starting safety on this team? Yes or no? The answer is unequivocally no. And I'm going to prove that you believe that. I'm going to prove that. And when I get done proving it, you'll understand how I view things. But to sit there and act like he's something special, oh, he's just stand out on special teams, but yeah, I'm supposed to give him respect as a safety because he finished 46th in the bottom 28% of the league. 71% of the league is rated higher than him. Let's talk about it that way. 71% of the league is rated higher than him with his 28%. It was like 71.87% to his 28.13%. In case you want to get technical with the numbers. All right? At the end of the day, you're going to tell me about this guy being a standout special teams guy. Well, let's get it.
He took Miles Killebrew. He's the reason Miles Killebrew can't get on the field. What are you talking about?
He's the reason Miles Killebrew can't get on the field.
Wilson is one of only 4 safeties in the NFL that has never dropped a catchable interception.
Now, I was going to put a video up to show that that was a flat-out lie, but I'll let you do your own research on that. Go and look at the Jets game and a few other games. But he's going to bring up a game I'm really going to love. Wait till y'all hear this. Wait, there's more.
Since 2014 with a minimum of 100 snaps. Balling. Tavon Wilson finished the year graded higher than Glover Quinn. He had a higher grade than Nevin Lawson.
More proof that this is funny. This is comical. He's graded higher than Glover Quinn, who was hurt. Right? This is not news. He was hurt. So, okay, yeah, he was graded higher than the guy who was hurt. But when that guy was healthy, he came right back in. Okay. Okay. He was graded higher than Nevin Lawson. Who ain't? I mean, heck, Mobby, you graded higher than Nevin Lawson. Luke is graded higher than Nevin Lawson. Okay? The guy that is sitting outside telling me he will clean your windows for $1 is graded higher than Nevin Lawson.
He had a higher grade than Tease Tabor.
I mean, of course he had a higher grade than Tease Tabor. Tease Tabor got benched. He was playing bad. The same thing Darius Slay did early on in his career. The same thing Glover Quinn did early on in his career. The same thing Quandre Diggs did early on in his career. I'm not the one that's trying to be the smart guy here because, I'm merely pointing out the obvious facts. A lot of times those cornerbacks struggle.
He had a higher grade than Jamal Agnew. He had a higher grade than Anthony Adams that we just brought over from the Buccaneers. He had a higher PFF grade than Justin Coleman that we just brought over from the Seahawks. He had a higher PFF grade than Rashawn Melvin, who we just brought over from the Raiders. What are y'all talking about?
We're just talking about the same thing that you talking about. We don't want this guy to be a starter on the Detroit Lions under no circumstance. We don't want him on the field. That's what we're talking about. That's what you're talking about. And how do I know that? Because in this video, you're going to say he's not even a lock to make the team. Wait a minute. All this talk you talking about, how great he is, he should definitely be a lock. He's a special team stud. He's rated 46th out of 64 starting safeties. Even though that's the bottom 28%, he's still that man balling. Not what I said. I could have did all that funny stuff that you did with the cameras and the editing. That was funny. But I'd rather just go ahead and point the facts out.
Please, this is the guy. Don't be a chump. Do your research.
And I'm still repeating it. At the end of this video, I'm going to say it. And you know why? It's because you have to do your research. All your research came from Pro Football Focus. And I guarantee you, you only agree to it when it matters for you. But the facts are not going to change. The facts are that Tavon Wilson is not a starting safety in this league. He's not. Period. He's not a starting safety. And he shouldn't be starting on the Lions in any circumstance. Period.
Come on, man. I heard him bring up the Jets game. How about the Panthers game?
No, how about the Jets game? Why are we going to skip over the Jets game? Let's talk about that. We just going to skip over that? Why are we skipping over the Jets game? Because like I know what happened. Why are we skipping over that? But if you want to talk about the Panthers game, let's be for real. Okay? Let's be for real. And what I mean by being for real is let's just put this all into some serious perspective. I.e., let's be honest, if they just take the field goal and go to overtime, Lions probably don't win that game against the Panthers. The head coach went for 2. Cam Newton You know, Cam Newton made one of the worst throws I've seen in a long time. If Cam Newton had an inch of accuracy, we lost that game on that 2-point conversion because the receiver was open. Cam Newton missed him. Don't act like, and he's going to do this, people. He's going to act like Tavon Wilson was the difference maker for that game. Stop it.
How about the 3 safeties had the highest grades on the team? Tracy Walker, the game-winning interception, caused him to have a 90.9 PFF grade. Tracy Walker only played 15 snaps. Don't tell me he was balling. He played 15 snaps.
So we ain't going to talk about Tracy Walker and say that he was balling. We're not going to say that. We're just going to say it was Tavon Wilson. The great Tavon Wilson. The next Troy Polamalu. The next Ed Reed. Heck, he could be Rod Woodson. If you ask There Goes Mobby, he might be Jesus.
Tavon Wilson played 50% of the defense of the total defensive snaps. Half of the time he was on the field, he finished with a 77.5 PFF grade. That was the highest PFF grade on the team. The Panthers were on a winning streak until they ran into us, and we ruined their season behind the play of Tavon Wilson, who had 4 solo run stops that game.
So let me get this straight. Yeah, this is going to be a 2-parter. Listen, let me get this straight. So 4 run stops in a 60-minute game is the deciding factor of balling. That's the deciding factor of it. That's balling. Okay, all right.
By himself on some Snacks Harrison type stuff. In 15 games, he had 1 sack, 36 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hit.
So let me get this straight. People. Okay. So that's just. I think he said 15. Let me go back. I want to make sure I heard him right.
1 sack.
I can go back further than that, people.
On some Snacks Harrison type stuff. In 15 games, he had 1 sack, 36 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hit. In 3 years in Detroit, Tavon Wilson has played in 40 games.
So for the season, he averaged 2.4 tackles a game. Balling. I didn't say that. That's what Mobby said. He said he had 36 tackles in 15 games. He started 3 of those games, right? He started 3 of those games, and I'm just being honest when I say this, people. You take 36 and divide it by 15, you get 2.4. Okay, that's balling. Oh, all right.
Games. He has 26 starts in those 40 games. In 40 games, this man has given us 178 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries in limited playing time.
Okay. All right. So let's just go with it. I mean, this is what he's saying, right? I mean, so, if you figure, 16 or 40 divided by 16 total games. Oh, wait, he didn't play that many? No? Played 20 something of them? So he played half of them. Oh. Half of them. Balling. Was he hurt? Is that why he played half of them? Nope. Because majority of the time, he was not the starter. And why was he not the starter? Because he's not for real.
And you use your podcast to say he can't tackle, he can't play special teams, he can't cover.
No, I didn't say he can't tackle. Okay. And in terms of his coverage skills, they're suspect at best. And yeah, you're going to bring up where he's had 8 interceptions in his whole career. Why did New England get rid of him? He's such a great safety. Why did New England get rid of him and upgrade the safety spot? He's such a great slot corner. Why did New England get rid of him and upgrade the corners in the slot corner spot? I mean, you mean to tell me New England couldn't find a spot for him on their special teams? Why did New England get rid of him? Well, I mean, what happened? He's so special. I mean, he's like finding a diamond in the rough. I can't believe I'm being so mean to him. Gosh. But watch how you finna make my point real quick.
He graded out higher than every other person that's going to start in the secondary next year, not named Tracy Walker and Darius Slade. What are you talking about?
So he graded out higher than Anthony Adams, who wasn't a starter himself. Okay, not bad, not bad. He graded out higher than Will Harris, who's a rookie. Okay, that makes sense too. I mean, 'cause that's a good comparison. Okay. He graded out higher than Justin Coleman. Oh, okay, cool. All right. But Coleman got a big contract. And Coleman solidified himself. Okay. All right. He graded out higher than Rashawn Melvin. Okay, cool. This is why I don't like Pro Football Focus, man. This the kind of stuff it do. It creates these people who just believe everything in it because they feel like it support what they're saying. But when you go through and you watch it with your own two eyes, forget the stats. What your eyes tell you. Because it must be the same thing that the head coach eyes is telling you. And the same thing that the general manager eyes is telling him. I mean, let me ask you this. Why do you think they made him take a pay cut? So when they did cut him, it wasn't going to, hurt the team's cap. He's getting cut. The only way he's making his team is somebody else get hurt. And based on how you view him, he should not be getting cut at all. Even 313 J-Mo agreed that we don't want him on the team.
We just gotta do better, fellas. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. We can't keep putting out this misinformation to the fans, man. You can't say don't be a chump, just do your research and then. He's not a lock to make the team, the roster by any means, no.
Wait a minute, go back, people. Go back. See, this is what I'm talking about. This right here is what I'm talking about. How you make my thing? We gotta do better, right? We gotta do better.
We gotta do better. We gotta do better. Mm-hmm. We can't keep putting out this misinformation
nope.
to the fans, man. You can't.
No, we can't be putting out this misinformation like he bought that life when he not. But I'm giving out misinformation. Listen up, people. Watch what he say right after we can't keep putting out misinformation.
You can't say don't be a chump, just do your research and then. He's not a lock to make the team, the roster by any means, no.
He's not a lock to make the team, the roster by any means, no. What you mean, no? He's a special team stud. He finished 46 out of 64 safeties. And you telling me he's not a lock to make the team? You went through, made a 16-minute, 46-second video to try to challenge my view that we don't need Tavon Wilson on his team, let alone to be the starting safety. And at the end of the day, you yourself don't even believe he's a lock to make the team. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all wonder why I tell y'all don't be no chump? Please do your research, because it's stuff like this. You went through all that work to get to the end to discredit your own argument. And guess what? Luke didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to do nothing. All he had to do was just simply use your words against you. Like, let's be honest about this, people. If he don't even believe that he's a lock to make the team, why would I want him to be the starting safety? So we can somehow keep Quandre Diggs at the slot corner, who, even by his own admission, they found a spot for him because he was better. Period. This is what I don't understand, people. This is what I don't get. I mean, listen, in case y'all missed it, let me go back.
He's not a lock to make the team, the roster by any means, no. He's not a lock to make the roster. But he was literally the third highest graded returning member in the secondary.
Let me get this straight. So he's not a lock to make this team, but he was graded the third. That's not saying much for our Detroit Lions secondary. And to all you people who was wondering about what the kryptonite was for the Detroit Lions, according to There Goes Mobby, it's the secondary. Because if our highest graded player was a guy who is not even a lock to make the team, I don't know how you can view this any other way. That's it for y'all. I gotta end it here. Again, this is not a beef. This is not no conflict. This is what you call a debate. I respect what's going on over there, and he respect what I'm doing. That's why he called me out, because he felt like I said something crazy. I respect that. I ain't got no beef with him. This ain't no beef. But when he made that statement, he should have knew I was going to respond. And I told him anytime you want to have this debate, we could have it. Because if we did have the debate, it would have been better than me making the video after his video. He can get his point out, I can get my point out, and we let the people pick who's right and who's wrong. But in his own argument, He said he's not a lock to make the team, but he was graded higher, returning. Man, that's terrible. What you really told me was our secondary is worse than what people wanted to lead on to. Then the truth was, do I think the secondary was bad? I mean, yes. But I think getting a Warrior was huge. I think that they got some people there. But under no circumstance do I believe Tavon Wilson should be a starter on anybody's team. Let alone do I think he could have started for 18 other teams. No way. Because some of those people who started in that 64 were only starting because people were hurt. Let's be honest. And some of those people who were starting because they good old boys and they just follow orders. Like I said, man, that's it for now. As always, man, leave a like, comment, whatever you want to do. Hashtag I won, I lost. Let talk to me. But Mobby, again, and I know this is interesting, but I had to do it in two parts because I had to have the logic behind this be heard. I am willing to debate anyone, whether it is a subscriber, another YouTuber, an NFL coach, whoever. I'm not going to shy away from it. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And in most cases, we don't want to be giving out misinformation. But we also don't want to make a bigger mistake and have a whole lot of assumptions about 28%. Hey, love you, Mobby. That's it, people. Don't be no chump. Please do your research.